Hello everyone, I'm Yvonne, a children's librarian here at the Manchester City Library, and welcome to our winter elementary experiments. These are activities and crafts made for grades 1 through 6 that have a science, technology, engineering, art, or math component. We are continuing to have our in-person elementary experiments on the second Wednesday and the fourth Tuesday of each month at 3:30 p.m. in the Winchell Room at the Manchester City Library. We are posting these videos for anyone who is not able to attend, and they will be posted at the same time as our events. But if you are in grades 1 through 6 and you would like to attend and do our experiments in person, please register for our next elementary experiments on our website. In-person attendance will also guarantee that you will get a kit to help you complete our craft portion of our elementary experiments. Although any extra kits that we have will be available at the Children's Reference Desk while supplies last. So if you weren't able to go in person, but you can get to the library after this video goes up, just go ahead and ask to see if we have any extras. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into this week's elementary experiments. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's elementary experiments, where we are going to be looking into winter sports, because this is the last elementary experiments of the winter. So I thought we would look back at some of the winter activities and learn a little bit about it. So first of all, we are going to be doing an engineering challenge where we are going to build our own ski lift. So there is not a set amount of things that are needed for this. Part of the challenge is to kind of create and build with what you have. We are going to need some string, and then I would suggest probably some cups that you can put tape on as kind of like our poles for our ski lift for the base of it. And then some masking tape or other type of tape for laying out our base. I will give you the details when we get all our stuff together. Everything else is kind of be a little bit up to you. I'm going to pull just kind of what I have laying around, and we'll see what we can come up with. So here I have sort of the base of how I'm going to set up my ski lift. I have this cookie sheet, which I have as my base. First of all, so that I can put tape on it to mark my starting and ending zones, as well as I can move it if I need to. I just wanted you guys to think about where it would be best to do this. First of all, if you do use something like tape to mark your zones, remember we need to ask permission before we tape to make sure that we're not going to mess up any furniture or flooring. So the goal that I'm setting with my model ski lift is to transport a small piece of cargo from one end of my tray to the other. And after it leaves the start portion, I'm not going to be able to touch the cargo until it arrives. So I'm going to use my tape and I'm going to mark off my start section. And since I'm going to use the cups as the poles of the ski lift to go in between, I'm going to put my cup down, and I'm going to say that everything in front of the cup I am not allowed to touch this. And I was hoping I would have at least 6 inches in between, and I do. In fact, I can go as much as 7 inches, actually. So I'm going to put 7 inches in between my start section and my end section. So that's pretty secure. Now, normally a ski lift will actually go up a mountain. So you would get into what we're going to use as the cargo area or the seat in a normal ski lift. And then it would bring you up the mountain. And then you would get off at the top to be able to ski back down. If you guys want an extra challenge, you could definitely either tilt this up on some books or something, or else have this be higher up for your ski lift to function. The really fun thing about this challenge is that you can do it basically any way that you want and do it almost completely different than what I'm doing. The things that we're doing the same is basically having this area after the start be that we cannot touch the ski lift or its cargo when we're testing it. Other than that, you can really make up your own rules for it. If, for instance, you wanted to have a shorter distance in between, totally fine. And obviously, everything that you're using to build is going to be what you have at home. So once you have all your supplies gathered, this is probably a good time to take a moment and think about how you're going to build your ski lift. If you have some paper and pencils, I suggest possibly sketching some things out. So if we were going to be real engineers, we would need to be able to show our work to people who were building for us. So it is good practice to kind of show what we are thinking about before we get right into building. But of course, that is up to you, so you can do it either way. I'm going to go ahead and start my project. We'll see if I succeed in my challenge or not. So remember, if you don't succeed the first time, that's totally fine. In fact, it's fine if you don't succeed the first several times, because part of engineering, especially when you are in the modeling phase, so if we were going to build a real ski lift, then we might build a small version of it or a model so we can test it out and see where it might run into problems. And then when you test, you can note where the problems are and then brainstorm and talk with a partner, try and think of ways to fix it. That's also called iteration, where you try something and then you make small changes and try again. And it's a process that kind of repeats and repeats until you get it right, especially if you're going to be paid for it as a job, or you get tired of it if you are a kid and doing it for fun. All right, I have gotten my plan together. It's actually pretty simple. I don't know if I'm going to need everything that I gathered, but we're going to try. I want to do the extra step of seeing if I can make the ski lift go all the way around. You don't have to. If you pull it one way and then can pull it back the same way, that's totally fine. But we'll see if I can make it work. About ready to do my test with my design and my setup. Here's my little ski lift chair and my dice. Let's see if we can make it all the way across. So I can only touch it from on this side. Once it passes this line, can't do anything about it. Whoop. That did not go well. So my problem is when it comes off the edge here, it sags and then it spills off the edge. So I had my seat built so that it would lean back, but apparently the sides are an issue. So on my plan, I would decide to put in arms on my chair, and also the pull down might be a problem, so I might put in like another piece of cardboard to hold this up. All right, I have redone my chair. So let's see if we can make it across. All right, so we made it all the way across, but my chair is too low to get into my box and dump itself out. So we're gonna have to fix that next. So I've made a few changes, including an arm here to get my chair over the drop-off point, and moved the guard up to the end of that to keep the string from falling this way, and improved the chair so that it sits back farther so the dice won't fall out. We're gonna try this again and see if I can get our dice into our box. All right, close. All right, here we go, trying again. All right, it's in. Not sure if I'll be able to get it all the way around. It's a good thing the person was already off the chair by the time we got it all the way around. But it did work. And this is where we would pick up our next person. All right, so my lift definitely got quite a bit more complicated from my first drawing. And also my seat needed actually a lot of adjustments, which I wasn't really expecting. But the seat was almost as important as the rest of the lift. So I hope that you are able to get the lift that you make with all of your materials to work. Maybe even work better than mine, because honestly, that was a little bit rough. But it still technically did what I wanted, and I'm not going to put any real people on it. So I feel pretty proud of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and then I will meet you back here for our craft. So for our craft, for our winter sports, we are going to be looking at tabletop hockey. So this one does require quite a bit of tying and putting together, but I think that you guys are up for it. So as usual, we have our craft kit. If you are by the Manchester City Library and you are in grades 1 through 6, you can definitely pick one up and take home. Otherwise, you can gather the supplies and make it yourself. In our kit, we have our instructions as usual. Then we are going to have our string. Here we have, I think it's 8 pieces per goal. So 16 pieces of string that are about 11 inches to 12 inches long. Then we have our pipe cleaners. We have 3 for each goal, and then 1 per hockey stick. So that's going to be 8 altogether. And finally, at the very end, we have a little pom-pom, which is going to be our hockey puck. All right, I'm going to put that back in there so it doesn't roll away. All right, so to make this, the only thing you actually really need are going to be scissors, but you might want some liquid glue to go ahead and secure your knots once you make them, just to make sure they don't come undone while you play or handle your net. But yeah, you definitely need scissors because we are going to be cutting up some of our pipe cleaners. First of all, we can go ahead and make our hockey sticks. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 different colors, and we are going to fold it in half. And then we are going to take about 1 inch at the bottom and fold that up, and then kind of angle it a bit. So we have a hockey stick, and we're going to repeat that with the other color for the opposing team. Next, we're going to take 3 pipe cleaners, and what we're going to do is we are going to fold them all into 4 pieces I think the easiest way to do that is to fold it in half like this, and then take one of the little ends, the little legs, and then fold it down to meet the curve, and then do the same here. And we get this little wobbly thing that makes it so that we actually know. All right, and that will give us 4 even pieces. We're going to do that for all 3 of this color. Now we're going to take 2 of these, and we are just going to make a little square with them, right? So we go like this, and we go like this, and we go like this. Here we are, and then we can do a little tiny twist at the corner. And that is going to give us a square. Do the same thing again. Then we're going to take this last one. This is what we need the scissors for, because we are going to cut this into 4 pieces. There's metal in the middle of the pipe cleaner, so do not use your good scissors to cut these. You might want to ask if you're using someone else's scissors just to make sure it's going to be okay. Eventually, over time, if you cut metal with metal, it will wear it down. All right, so we've got our 4 pieces here. Now we are just going to attach the corners together. We're gonna put them here and then do a little twist on each end. If you need some help doing the little twists, definitely ask. They can be a little bit hard. Right, now we've got a kind of rectangle here. And we're gonna make it so that one of our rectangles is going to be the entrance to our net. All right, we're going to take our string and we're going to need 8 pieces for this net and then 8 for the other one. What we're going to do is here at our beginning, we're going to tie in 4 pieces of string along one of the sides here. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to try and make our knots towards the end of this thing. So make them as small as you can. And again, get help if you need to. All right, so we've got our yarn hanging from this one here. Now we're going to tie them around this pipe cleaner here. Now we've got them here, tied here, and then we are going to tie them one more time down on this bar. Right, so we've got those threads. Now we are going to add 2 this way and 2 this way to use up our remaining 4 threads. So what we're going to do is go ahead and grab 2 threads. We're going to look here. So this is where we started, right? So we're going to go to this side and tie 1, 2 threads. So we got our 2 threads here. So then you're going to tie it around this bar. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and put it down to tie around this bar. You can just pull it down like this. You can also weave in and out. I like weaving in and out because it makes it a little bit more sturdy, but you can do what you want and then tie them again here on this bar when you get through. And now I gotta go and tie these to this last bar, so they've gone all the way around. Now we take our last 2 threads for this one, and we're going to go to the square with nothing in it, or one of them. All right, so we have our opening here, which is going to be the front of the goal. We have this one here, which is going to be the bottom. So we're going to go flip over to the bottom and then tie these on one side, one here and one here. So we're going to put these two strings down and we're going to weave through or lay over those two and then tie them on this bottom here. Well, actually, technically we're going up because remember this is going to be the bottom. Then we're going to go this way and over our what is going to be the top of our net. And again, you can weave through or not, and then tie them right here on the side. And this is the last side, so we're going to put these down here, weave or not weave, and then tie at the bottom. So here is our little goal. And what we're going to do now is we're going to trim off all of these ends. Here we are. And now this is where if you have some glue, you might want to go ahead and glue like right here on each knot, just to make sure that they don't come undone. Especially if you only did a single knot, which you probably only had room for. So I would probably suggest doing that. Then you are going to go ahead and do the same thing with your remaining 3 pipe cleaners and your remaining 8 yarn. And then you will have a match set. Right, now that you have done all of that tying and cutting and measuring, you can get a friend and get your puck, and then you are ready to battle it out to see who is the best hockey player on the table. All right, I hope that you enjoyed making this craft and you have a lot of fun playing with it. Remember, it doesn't really matter who wins. Sometimes it's even more fun if you don't keep score and you just have fun with people you enjoy hanging out with. All right, everyone, that is the last of our winter elementary experiments. I hope that you enjoyed figuring out these winter games. I know that this week we were a little bit more technical, both in our thought processes and in our making, but I do hope that you enjoyed. In the spring, we are going to continue as we have been. So that means that we are going to have 2 in-person events each month. We are going to be on the second Wednesday and then the 4th Tuesday of the month, which is almost every other month, but you do have to keep an eye out because some months have a different amount of weeks. And on March 13th, then we are going to be looking into spring and doing some really cool things, I think. So as usual, I will put some book recommendations, some that deal with winter sports, some that deal with winter in general. And there are way more where that came from at the Manchester City Library. You can check out our catalog online. And of course, while you're there, you can sign up for our March elementary experiments if you would like to come in person. But that is all that I have for today. So until then, goodbye.